Nobody's listening, right?
Hi, Andy.
Hey.
Is anybody listening?
Are they? New and here to stay from T Money 22. I love listening to you guys chat. You are great commuting companions? Communicating, sure. Probably? Or commuting?
No, like while she's driving. Or he.
Gosh, yes. Your love story makes me think fondly of my childhood best friend who became one of the great loves of my life.
Oh.
I was sitting here by the St. Monica, and I'm here to stay.
God bless St. Monica. God bless St. Monica.
Speaking of God, and this will probably be the only speak of God for this whole show, but this review is called Religious Banter from Andrew. Armcherry here. I'm listening. Thanks, Monica. I started listening a couple episodes ago. I appreciate your honesty about organized religion. It's not easy to articulate your feelings about it. I haven't ever been able to organize my thoughts on, and listening to you lately has been very helpful. Keep it up. Also looking forward to seeing photos of the plaid couch. Cheers.
Ooh. Well, be sure to follow our Instagram page at Nobody's Listening Right for once the plaid couch is going to take a minute for them to make it, but we do have a big update.
We do. Do you want more reviews? We have like so many reviews. Again, I want to do something. Let me read one more. This is from Ashley. I'm listening. Glad to have you both back. Long time Lamewad. I'm so thrilled you're back in my life, like catching up with friends, and it brightens my week every Wednesday. Can we bring back the Andy Says Bounce shirts? Which is hilarious because...
Well, that's amazing because for anyone who watches A Million Little Things, the television show I'm lucky enough to write on, there's going to be a little Easter egg for you this season. I'm not sure when the season is happening. It might not be for a while, but that's amazing. What a joy and delight. Those reviews mean so much to us. I think that we are several ticks closer to overtaking our nemesis, Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And again, shout out St. Monica for this. And yes. It just really means a lot. All of you longtime listeners leaving reviews. And then I feel like the last couple episodes we've had these people that have discovered word of mouth one. All of this, we're just not going to lie. It feels nice that we're growing a bit. It just feels kind of nice.
We're not doing this for the numbers.
We're not.
If this remains at those ears of you out there who are listening to us right this moment, and that's as big as it gets, we're cool with that. We are intending to do this for the next however many decades the good Lord gives us. But anyway, it does feel good that it's growing.
That's nice.
I wanted to say, speaking of Eckhart Tolle, I was listening to Kendrick Lamar's new album.
Oh, okay.
He shouts out Eckhart Tolle.
Really? Do you remember the rhyme?
No.
Is Eckhart Tolle one of the rhymes, or is it just within a flow?
Oh,
do you know what I'm saying?
I do. I don't know.
Because I almost feel like you're not putting Eckhart Tolle in a rapping song unless it is one of the rhymes. We'll get back to you guys on that.
But I think Kendrick Lamar is a fan, just like I am, or a follower. It all sounds so culty. Did the lyric
feel that way? He wasn't like, and fuck Eckhart Tolle.
No. It was, I think, a tip of the hat.
Nice. Okay. Well, great.
Okay.
I like that. I might make a clip of what Kendrick actually says about this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So we have a couple of things to cover.
I have something on my list. Sounds like you got something on your list.
Well, I want to give some health updates first. And I know we had friends over this morning, and I was like, would you listen to us? You're talking about heartburn. I'm talking about...
I hope I'm talking about heartburn.
Oh, God. See, this is...
Am I right, though?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes, but...
Let's start with you, because you're on the marquee for the health update, if we're going to be honest. My stuff's all small fry compared to yours.
We hope.
Nice save.
We also just were talking to friends who kind of went through this, where the thing you think that you go to the worst place of like what something could be, and then luckily in our friend's case it wasn't the worst. It's not like an amazing situation, but it's something that's manageable. Yeah. I think yours is a quick cover. You are having, you know what, it's good to talk about because oftentimes our listeners are like, hey, you got this thing, and they lead us on the way.
So I've been taking medication for the ADHD, which I've talked about, and my initial thought is, oh no, I wonder if the medication is what's causing this. And I've been taking the medication for like 3 months and experiencing the sensation for, I would say, about a month. It feels like, what would you describe this area? Like
top
mid-rib,
of your stomach, under your left ribs.
Under my left ribs, a pain in there that it's like a discomfort.
Is it a dull?
I think maybe because it's, I would call it less of a pain and more of a discomfort.
Would you say it's an ache? You gotta get specific.
It doesn't
here.
feel muscly, no.
Okay.
But the reason I think it's heartburn is because it does feel kind of burny, and I feel like I've looked it up that maybe heartburn can happen here, and your stomach is right here.
Yeah, I know.
Which I didn't know it was on just this part of the body.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit more in your belly.
No. And also, does it have an acidic feeling to it?
See, that doesn't really resonate. Maybe it does in the feeling of it, but it's not like when some people have the heartburn that's coming up through their esophagus, and like sometimes they literally taste the acidic thing. Yeah. And I don't have like the burning here. I'm pointing to my sternum, sort of. That is it can be typical. But anyways, so I stopped taking the medication. That didn't necessarily seem to solve the problem, which is both good and bad. One, I was a little bummed because this medication has been so helpful for me. I'm like, fuck, am I going to be back to square one and going to have to try different stuff or whatnot, if that is what it is. But two, I'm like, if the medication isn't doing it, why all of a sudden
and also,
am I experiencing these things? But I'm hoping it's heartburn.
You're just getting older and your diet's catching up to you.
It could really be that.
I mean, we were joking about like it's a miracle that you actually don't know what heartburn feels like, given how you eat and live.
Yeah.
But you also have a lump on your, like, it's like a squishy. I'm not worried about it because
that is that is more. Would you say lower sternum?
Like between your lower pecs, like right under where your rib cage starts. And at first we were like, it's a rib, but then we realized...
No, it's squishy.
But I think it's this hernia thing that we read about.
Oh,
anyway, we're falling apart, and you still have the Band-Aid on your face.
The next week, hopefully I won't. Well, I'm getting my stitches out on Monday, and I'm hoping it's going to look awesome.
We are falling apart. But you know what? Also, in a weird way, this makes me very grateful for our health overall. I'm kind of in that place right now. I have bad news that I have re-herniated the disc that I had surgery on last year. It's back, wants to party. The sequel. It's looking like I will probably have to have a fusion, and they go through the front, and it's a whole thing. It's a big bummer. I'm doing PT. I did book like a session with this like physical healer.
You did?
Not the one that you're thinking of. It's not like our friend's massage guy. This is a different situation.
Another one?
Yeah. That guy never got back to me.
You're gone. You're out of here.
You're done. But I'm having to... Here's what's weird about it. Thank God it does not hurt the way it hurt last time yet.
What's your pain threshold? If last time was what?
8, 9.
Okay, yeah.
I'm at a 3-4.
Still, that's fucking...
It's annoying.
Sucks.
I can't sit for very long. I'm back in bed at work. The heads and executives at the studio and network called American Broadcast Corporation have seen me in my bed. It's just weird. But you know, I'm not in a ton of pain, luckily. But then it gets into like, this is like a 6-month-long thing.
The surgery?
Well, the surgery is relatively quick. I think it's like 3 hours.
Okay.
But what they do is they take bone from your pelvis.
Okay.
And they put it on to where your disc used to be.
Okay.
And the bone needs to fuse. That's why it's called a fusion to the upper and lower bones. And so you really have to be very careful so that bone can fuse. If that bone doesn't fuse, it's a whole fucking other thing. So
I'm getting squeamish just talking about
I know, I'm really bummed out about it. And then the other thing is, I mean, I'm very grateful not to be in tons of pain, although today and yesterday were a little bit worse.
Yeah.
I am like, when in my life can I be like, oh yeah, I think I can take 4 months off now, and also like, you're gonna have to take 4 months on
with this hernia and my heartburn.
What we're trying to say is we're looking for a third. If anyone out there wants to come and join our family,
A throuple situation?
as a throuple, there's going to be no sex or funny business.
I was going to ask. That was my favorite. What kind of bennies are in the bedroom?
I
No
mean,
bennies?
I'll show my boobs, I guess, but I
Whoa. Whoa. You will show your boobs?
yeah.
Okay.
If that's what it takes to get someone who's gonna make this doable,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Okay.
Anyway. Cool. So there's that. Now let's move on to what I really want to talk about. Fall. The weather has changed. There's been a shift in the air. I almost feel like I willed it to happen. I know I'm sounding like a narcissist right now, but I did the Waterford puzzle a few weeks ago.
So wood puzzle. Jigsaw
From
puzzle.
the Waterford Puzzle Company, which is a fine company based in Maine. Rose was the woman who cut this puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you rent a Waterford puzzle, it comes with the card of who cut it and then like a little backstory. She is living her best life.
Yeah, she really is.
And I felt it as I was doing the puzzle, and it was a joyous puzzle, and it was a very fall forward puzzle. And now here we are. It's a drizzly day in Los Angeles. We're going to do karaoke later with the kids in our living room. My heart feels full. My sciatica feels a little turned on, but my heart feels full.
I love when it gets this kind of weather, but I am down today. I am not sharing your, it feels like this is lifting you up. This, for whatever reason, is bringing me further down into the depths. I don't know why.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, it's kind of a gloomy situation, but I love it. I'm sorry you're down.
I feel myself like karaoke. I'm going to be singing like...
Love lift us up where
I do want
we
to sing
belong.
that.
So, but I feel like I willed this to happen, but I also feel like this guy that I see when I go on my morning walks willed this to happen.
Who's this guy you see?
There's a gentleman who lives in our neighborhood.
Okay.
Not in our like exact neighborhood, but like down.
Okay.
I have seen him over the last few months when it was way too warm. Like early September, when we're still in a heat wave. Out with his dogs in the morning, wearing a scarf.
A scarf?
A hat. He was in it very fall forward, like real fall colors, looking like he needed this. And I saw him yesterday. When was the last time I took a walk?
Do you seek him out?
Nope. We're just on the same time frame.
Okay.
Saw him with the dogs, and he looked happy as a clam.
It had happened for him.
It had happened, and I was very happy for him.
Shit, man, that's great. That's really...
You'll get on board.
No, I will. I really want to shake this, whatever's happening to me. I don't know.
Anxiety?
No, I just feel like low the last couple days.
Is it the prospect of having a bedwife for 4 to 5 months?
No, honestly, that hasn't crossed my mind, so I don't think that's it. you're not helping, but
Sorry. Okay. Huh.
yeah. Well, let me ask you something.
Okay.
Speaking of like getting old, I was thinking the other day, and you mentioned the puzzle. You seem like set up for your later year hobby situations.
Oh, yes.
Okay. What's my hobby game going to be like in my old age? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing where I could rattle them off. Your puzzles, of course. Are you knitting? Highly likely.
Very likely.
Are you quilting? Yes.
Yes.
Like those three right
Baking?
there. Are you baking?
Correct.
What the hell?
Reading.
Yeah, reading. What am I doing? God, now I'm getting sadder now. I thought this was going to lift me up.
Well, no,
I'm drawing a blank. Painting?
I could see you getting really into like pickleball.
That's I appreciate that.
I could see you finding some like really weird shit. You know, there are these like I feel like there are clubs of like old men that make like sailboats and go and put them in lakes and race them or something.
Holy shit, you're speaking my language. Okay, wait, let's stay here for a minute because I was actually going to rein you back and be like, I want my solo hobby stuff. Yeah. I wasn't even thinking of group things, but I like where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Pickleball interests me. And quick side tangent, tennis update. You can attest I've been very forward with people in our neighborhood lately about playing tennis with me. And I think I might have found the perfect person. So
yes.
I'll update on that in a few weeks after my face has stitches removed. Yes, like remote controlled sailboats that take you like 3 months to build.
And you're painting them and like...
Because
and I could see you, whatever you're doing, I could definitely see you having like a workshop-y type desk.
I want a workshop-y type desk.
And like a big magnet, like a light that has like a big...
Yes, the magnet. Now, we do know...
Magnifying glass, not magnet.
Just typically, most signs point to me not having a steady hand as I'm getting older. I already don't have a steady hand. So the shakes are going to be an issue.
Uh-huh.
But I see the shake with that light
yes!
thing, right?
You're still doing it. You're pushing through.
I'm pushing through, yes.
Yes.
Okay, that feels good. You know what's interesting is like that feels... You could have said like, you could be like a part of like the model train thing. And I'd be like, oh, that's not me. But although I love the idea, some guys are so into that and the culture of it, but you really nailed it with the sailboat. I don't even like boats though, but I do. That was a perfect example. Let's go to like solo things. Because when I'm thinking you, it's like you are so content. You got your mug of tea. You're drinking more tea in this part of your life. And you got your puzzle, and then you might want to knit, and then you're going to do like a little hologram face call with our kids. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What am I doing at the house, like by my, like, am I still going to be like tinkering with drum machines? Like,
yeah,
maybe that will be it. But I want something like outside of music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get that. Well, let's find you a hobby.
Painting, maybe. Model cars.
Watercolor. I feel like
maybe I need to take a class.
Yes, you've wanted to adopt watercolor. If your tapper painting is any indication, you could have quite a painting career. Andy, for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, Andy has another podcast and show that he does with our dear friend Josh Briggs.
Yep.
Called Totally Beverages and Sometimes Hot Sauce, aka T-Bash.
Yes.
And part of T-Bash has been an obsession about this video game called Tapper.
Old 80s game, yeah.
An 80s game that Andy was obsessed with for a while. And then I think you got so good at it that the obsession stopped.
No, I finally reached a level that I couldn't get to. And when I got to it, it was so bright and chaotic that I was like, oh, I can't play the game anymore. It hurt my eyes so much.
Oh, I was just going to say maybe maybe like old school video games as a hobby. I know it is your
for
brother.
my brother. Yeah, he loves that. But yeah.
Anyway, Andy did a painting of the Tapper video game.
And I just sent it out. Someone won it, and we had a contest, and Randy won it. So
congrats, Randy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maybe painting.
Yeah.
I like what you're thinking about, something that involves crafting, electronics, community, and a little competition.
Yeah.
Those 4 things feel great.
Good.
You just lifted me up a little bit.
Good.
Can we talk about time travel for a second?
Of course. Why would we not?
I was thinking about, remember we were looking the other day at there's a really funny photo of like some Renaissance painting that looks like there's an iPhone in it.
Yes.
And like, I think this was a big article like a few years ago, and like Tim Cook commented on it.
I'm going to write this down. I want us to post. I feel like we've been saying we're going to post it, and then we don't.
Okay, write it down. Yeah, because we'll find it. But it's, if you look up like Tim Cook Renaissance painting iPhone, you'll find it. But we'll find it. But it is really funny because it's like this old school painting, and then you look at it and you're like, that fucking person's holding an iPhone. Like, no doubt. Here's my thought on time travel, right? If you are from the future and you go back in time, I feel like you have a pretty good chance that you could convince the people that you were time traveling and you were from the future. But on the flip side, if you're from the past and you come to say now, you're fucked.
I actually think it's the opposite.
I want to hear your argument, and I want you to hear my argument. Do you want to hear my thesis?
Yeah.
Is my thesis so obvious to you, or no?
No.
Okay. If you're from the past and you're coming to now, you have no wow factors to prove that you're from the past. I don't know how you really, really prove it. And you just might seem crazy. Like, I feel like I could go and convince someone I was from the past if I did enough research on that time and figured out the hair and makeup. Exactly. But if you come back with an iPhone.
Oh, you didn't say you get to bring things.
Oh, interesting. So wait, now. Okay, let me ask you this. You're naked. Okay, in both scenarios. Are you fucked either way? Are you just like,
yes? Then
people
you're
are going to think you're crazy
person.
Then you're great, but it's so unfair. What if you really figured out how to do it, and you're like, oh my God, and you wake up, even if it's like you wake up 40 years ago, and you're like, oh my God, I did it, and you're naked. And then no one believes you. How heartbreaking would that be?
Sure, but a risk that you're going to take. I mean, I don't know what you're going through to time travel, but I feel like you're just happy that you're still there. But hang on. Okay. Hang on.
I just wait. Can I say one word so we don't forget? Crazy. That's all I want to remember. Okay, go on.
I think if you're naked, you have a much better shot at getting people on board with you if you're from the past. Because similar to like we've talked about like friends' kids saying something or having knowledge from history that you're just like, oh, that's eerie. But if you know something, I mean, this could be
But it's already written. It's in the history books.
No, you're giving me an idea for a movie.
Okay.
There is so much stuff from the past that is not documented.
But so how... Just give me an example then how is it corroborated? Is that the word?
Yeah, I don't know. There's some, some wily preteens go on some sort of adventure and figure out, I mean, it's like Goonies. They find the thing that corroborates the thing, and then they're like, wow, he really is from the past. He wasn't lying. Such a great movie.
But that's a great movie. But here's the problem. See, it also seems too easy if you're from the past, because then you show up and you're being like, yeah, Queen.
Too easy?
No, because you have history books that you can rattle off that stuff.
Yeah, but history, I mean, if we've not seen anything in the last 2 years, history has been manipulated. And so there are specifics about times in history where if you're like, I was on the Titanic and I had this necklace, and you know what I mean?
You're making fun now. And I don't understand your argument, though, because the thing you're saying, like, oh.
Do you think everything that was from the past, that, like, there are things in medicine that we just know are like this, but we don't know why. We don't know how they were discovered. We don't know, like, there are so many holes that need to be filled in that could by someone who's from the past.
No, but them filling in empty holes, how do you know that's real? They seem just as crazy.
Because once you have the information, don't yell at me. Once they have the information, they can go, oh, shit. That's how,
couldn't you fabricate, you being the storyteller and writer that you are?
No, it would have to be.
Couldn't you pull that off easy?
It would have to be corroborated.
But you're saying it can't be corroborated because it didn't happen.
What?
Give me a tangible example, and it can be made up.
Okay. Okay. This is a big ask, by the way, Andy, but I'm going back with Titanic.
Cool. I love that.
But let's say that, whatever, this is a problem because I'm not a historian.
No, but you can make up the facts. Like, you can make up the true facts and the whole facts.
Okay. I don't know what, like, the log books say or whatever.
Yeah. We're not worried about that.
I was on the Titanic.
You're pretending you were the person.
Yeah.
Okay. You're convincing me that you're from
I was there
past.
with, Captain whatever, telling him they're telling us an iceberg's ahead or whatever. And
hold on. You're like part of the crew, and you're like, yo.
Yeah.
You kept telling him.
Yes, I'm getting these messages from Mission Control.
Hold on.
Okay. Andy, come on. Stop this. Stop it.
Was there someone from the future with a satellite beaming down to you about the iceberg?
How did they communicate back then? Do.
Morse code.
Okay. Fine. I was the Morse code person.
Okay.
Telling him an iceberg's ahead. No, there's no iceberg. And I'm like, there is an iceberg. And he's like, no, it's fine. XYZ happened.
I have another question.
Stop it.
I have to ask this, though, because everybody's wondering this. When you're telling him that, are you in the same room? Are you commuting via Morse code from some other place?
No, I'm with him.
So how...
I'm receiving the Morse code.
But
Shut
those
up.
people...
Andy,
how do they have
you're
more
not
info?
Being fair.
How do they have more info than you guys? Are they on a boat ahead or something?
I don't know, but just shut the fuck up.
Okay.
So then I'm like... He's like, no, don't put it in the log. There's no iceberg, whatever. So there's nothing in the log that they find later. It's the one part of the ship that didn't sink. I don't know. Then
they did find the log, but there's nothing in the log, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And didn't actually the captain survive? I think that the captain survived, and that was kind of controversial.
I think anything's possible in this retelling.
But
yeah,
I'm like coming back, and I'm like, no. I promise you, I got it. Blah blah blah.
Got what?
The Morse code, and I told the captain.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, the person who was giving me the messages who had the information from up ahead or whatever.
Yeah.
Who was not on the ship. Whoever was giving Morse code was not on the ship.
I'm starting to get chills. I know where this is going.
Was my love.
Oh, okay.
And he or she lived in England or wherever.
Cheshire Forest.
Cheshire. And at this address.
Okay.
And he kept all of his work documents like in their butter turning closet.
And he...
Okay. And I need to get there. And sure enough, they go and find the house. It's been renovated.
Okay.
A million times.
Okay.
They didn't even know there was like a false bottom under the kitchen to the butter turning cellar.
You weren't... This was during Prohibition times when you weren't supposed to be churning butter.
Well, no, just the house has been renovated and renovated. And it's like, there's this, what's this trap door? Oh my gosh,
cool.
I never even knew about it.
Very cool, yeah.
Can we go down? Sure. Find this treasure trove. Find James's diaries. And in it says, "My dear Edith has perished. I don't know what happened. I was telling her. I told her in Morse code, and she was the best Morse code, translator in the continent. I told her there was an iceberg ahead. They needed to steer off course. She told me that she told the captain at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, there's nothing left of her except for my faded memory."
And that guy who is on some sort of spotting vessel ahead, did he just get out of Dodge? When, like, where was...
Don't worry, Andy, you're worrying way too much. There was some sort of... There may... You're worrying way too much about the... I'm not a mariner expert. Like, I don't know how that works.
I know. It's plausible. I like your example. It's plausible. Okay. I like your example.
Now, do an example from the future.
So, okay, but your whole theory is based on... It has to be related to something in the past, and then there's this magical moment where it gets corroborated.
Yes.
And then the person is like legitimized.
I'm titling this Corroborated.
Okay, that's cool. That could be like a whole show. It's like Quantum Leap, which, did you see they bringing back Quantum Leap?
Oh, it's back, baby. They just got an extra season. Do you know whose show that is?
I don't.
Martin Garrow.
Oh, that's sick. Okay. Yeah, from the future, if you're naked, you're just fucked.
Well, let's work a little harder, Andy. I had to really figure that out.
Okay. All right. I'm coming back from the future.
How deep? This is hard because you don't really have any touchstones to pull from.
Okay. I'm from 200 years ahead of now. And I'm coming back to... I want to say I'm coming back to 1984. Okay?
Oh. Why not just now?
Okay, it'll be now. It'll be now. I want it to be you that finds me.
Okay. How am I finding? How am I finding you?
I knock on the door.
And you're naked?
Yeah, see, there's no way in. That's hard. The naked thing is a hard way in, no matter what. Okay, but you know what?
Don't worry so much about the naked thing.
Okay, but it is an important piece of this
but
puzzle.
Like, I didn't start from when someone's finding me. I was explaining how I was going to corroborate, or
And you were Edith in your snenario.
Yes.
Let's be honest. A naked woman showing up out of nowhere, you have a little easier go of it than a naked man showing up out of nowhere.
This is a tough sell.
Okay.
Are you implying? I think it's much harder to be a naked woman out in the world than it is to be a naked man.
I think if let's not go down this wormhole.
Okay.
Of what would be easier to, if we were from the future or past showing up naked, which one would be easier just on the naked front? Okay. I think more people might be willing to help.
Can we not worry about being naked? Let's just say,
okay, you just can't bring anything, no clothing, no objects.
You're in an undershirt and sweatpants.
They sent you on this time travel journey because you are crafty. You figured out how to get clothing of the people.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Okay.
The problem is At what point do you make your move? Is it like a week after you land?
Andy,
do you get a lay of the land first?
You're getting very bogged down in the like step by step of it.
I just don't know how I don't seem crazy. That's the problem. Because I'm going to tell you, like, how to prove it. I'm going to be like, so here's the deal.
Okay.
Like, a lot's happened in the last 200 years. Miami is going to disappear because of the waters rising. But what's like even crazier than that, like a volcano comes out in the Indian Ocean that no one had expected. And
do you know how easy it is for you?
How?
Like, if you know when you are in time, and if you're into time travel, I'm assuming you know a little bit about history.
Oh, I know. You have the perfect
you just
thing.
Say, first of all, I'm going, oh, okay, sir. And then I'm having you committed.
I just start telling you what's going to happen the next day.
Yeah.
Damn. That is good.
Yeah.
But also, though, it does get weird because it's like, are you just like some psychic? Hey, are some psychics just from the future?
Okay.
Or mediums?
I'll ask that medium then.
But what I want to, the one thing I want, and we'll move on. I know you're getting uncomfortable in here. The one thing I did want to say is, imagine you are the guy that goes back like for just 40 years. You figure it out, and like you are naked, and you do, and no one believes you, and everyone's like, "You're crazy."
Yeah.
You'd probably go crazy if no one ever believed you, and you might even. This gets real dark. Then start to wonder if you're crazy.
Well, yes. I mean, listen, it would take so... Sometimes I think about that, like, I think that people, when they watch movies and someone's in, like, isolation in prison and going crazy, and you're like, I could deal with that. We're all so fragile. I truly think if I traveled from the future and came here and 3 different people were like, I think you might be crazy, I would go, oh, fuck. It would take so little to convince me that I
would hope
crazy.
Not. I hope you wouldn't break that quick, because I feel like this was an opportunity.
I'm so easily swayed, and I also have so much self-doubt, and I'm constantly, I mean, last week with the dog thing, even though I was really defensive and stuff, of course I'm like, am I the problem? Like, I'm constantly thinking about that. Like, how am I the problem here? I must be in some way. And I say that as what I consider myself a pretty confident person. I'm not like racked with lack of confidence or anything, but no. I think it would take, especially in that specific scenario, very little to convince me.
I don't think
I need
break
help
that easy.
Brace my heart. Think about all of the like, what's that horrible like thing? Sorry, I'm not bringing up religion, but that the Christian church did to like gay kids. Conversion therapy. Yeah. Where you're convincing people that they are a certain way where they're not. And watching Escaping Polygamy, I realize there are 4 seasons and I'm on season 2. It feels like a big commitment, but I'm enjoying it. And it's about these women who have left polygamy now have like an organization where they get other people out.
Yeah.
And the brainwashing, I mean, especially when you're born into something and brainwashed over time, like we're all very, very fragile.
Well, yeah. And we've talked about this. This might be a little too slippery a slope to
it
religion.
Is, yeah.
But just of the thing of, it's so hard to get people out of those things, because for them to leave, they have to
leave everything they know
and be like, and I was wrong, for years.
And also, hard. I mean, what is really sad is like one of these girls said is they also were taught like everything outside of their group means you're going to hell. Like, damned to hell. And one of the girls was like, but I couldn't stay in because it was hell. Like, it had to be hellish enough that she chose hell over that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can hear from time travel. God,
do you think
damn it.
that okay, last time travel question. Do you think it's possible? Do you think anyone's done it yet?
Well, here's what I think is possible. I think it's just a matter of time, but I think that there are living beings out in the universe, in maybe even in our galaxy, who would have to time travel to be able to get to us. I don't think we're time traveling anytime soon, but I think other sentient beings will, or maybe possibly already have, time traveled to us.
If we have any like quantum physicists listeners out there, I think theoretically it's possible, right?
I don't fucking
I'm gonna
know.
go. I'm gonna double down on that.
I don't fucking
Theoretically, it's possible. Huh.
What else is on your list? We covered hobbies. We covered time travel. Oh, do you want to talk about what?
This was from a long time ago. I went down like I saw some TikTok video of like a b-boy like breakdancer.
Oh yeah, I love those.
And I was like, those guys always just seem so happy, but at the same time, like I kind of judge them. Like I don't think I'd want to be a b-boy.
Why?
God. But this is the thing. But then when I'm coming around, I'm like, no, that's like would be probably a great clique to be in. Like it's just like all positivity, dancing. They're having so much fun. It seems like they support each other.
Oh yes.
So yeah, I had written that down a few weeks ago. Just like
speaking of, so there, one of my, just speaking of doing things you love.
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with us, like where we don't do fucking shit, and I feel like other people do things, and the idea of like doing things to us sometimes feels so overwhelming. I think
our son asked me the other day, "What's your favorite thing to do?" And I was like, and before I said anything, he was like, "It can't be playing Nintendo," which is like he was saying that for himself. And then he's like, and I was like, he's like, "It can't be doing music." And I'm like, okay. And like he like put these parameters on it, and I was like, I said like going to Descanso Gardens, which like
is lovely.
I really like doing it, but I was like, that's the first thing I thought about of like, what's your favorite thing to do?
Okay, like even this is where I'm like, how pathetic are we? And then I'm also like, how much of this is my back or like whatever? But we're going to a concert in a few weeks if we can find a sitter, presumably.
Yeah.
And I like every time I go to a concert, I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I love this.
Yeah, I know.
I love being out. I love feeling the music. I love it. But I'm not like excited to go to a concert. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
It almost is like, oh, we have to go to a concert. But then I love it. And I'm like, I want to be out doing more stuff while I'm there. And then the minute that we get home, I'm like, that was it. So the other thing I was thinking, my coworker Royale, like showed this video. He's an incredible roller skater.
Oh, sick.
And he goes out to like, there's a group of friends of his. They all go playing music and roller skating around and having a grand time. And I'm like,
sounds pretty great.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Why? But to me, like, honestly, if someone was like, hey, I'm getting a group together to go roller skating. Well, now I have the excuse of my back, but I would be like,
well,
you know what I mean?
No.
Like, what is wrong with us?
Our friends that were over today, they have, one of them has season tickets to the Dodgers, has for years, for like 10 years. Do you want to know what my question was?
What?
I was like, so do you have like getting in and out, like pretty down to a science? Like, I'm worried about he's going to that many games.
All of the
I'm worried about how much of a pain in the ass is like, where do you park and stuff? And he's like, oh, I do park this one thing. But it was like that hadn't crossed his mind. And then I was like, the Dodgers are in the...
Did you guys laugh about you asking that question?
Probably not. I don't
Okay.
think so. But then we were talking about the Dodgers they're not in the playoffs, but they're in whatever's before the playoffs. But anyways, because he's season ticket holder, he gets those tickets, but he shares the season tickets with some other people. And I was like, do you guys how do you figure out who's getting what game? And does that become a nightmare and all this stuff? And he's like, no, it's pretty chill. We just figure it out. But I'm stressed out for him where he's like, yeah, we don't stress out about that stuff.
Well,
I don't know.
Oh, to live like that.
But yeah, there isn't.
And I wish who are we talking about? I feel like there are other couples and other parents where they're just bringing their kids everywhere, and bedtime is incredibly flexible. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't even occur if there's something that's past bedtime, which is 8:30. It doesn't even occur to me that we would do it with kids. It's just we're either getting a sitter. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm do we need to open our minds a little bit more to doing more things, to getting even getting a sitter for you and me to go on a date night, which now that I say it, I'm I would love to do that. That sounds delightful.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that once the day got here, I would be I guess I gotta get ready for a dinner, a delicious meal out with the man I love. I think something's wrong with us.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I do know what you're saying about the dinner thing. I'm just oh fuck, now I gotta get ready
Seeing
for that
other
thing.
people.
But we still have fun whenever we do that stuff. I am predicting, knock wood, we find a babysitter so we can go to the show. I feel like this show is gonna blow our minds.
Maybe our third will be our babysitter.
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay. I think that's good. Maybe we can put a little bit more effort forth to seek fun. Whether it be hobbies, maybe you should look up a watercolor. This is something
I don't
that
need any
gets
distractions right now, though. But go on. What you were gonna say.
Especially with me becoming a bedwife.
No, I just feel I feel like I get pulled into dumb stuff. I don't want any distractions right now.
But what if it's something that it's not an obligation?
Yeah, that's true.
Something
Just
I
something
would
for
love
pleasure.
Something I would love to do with you at some point in time when I'm better is a cooking class.
That would be really fun.
That we just go, it's a one-off.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I think so.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Well, everyone, thank you for listening. Check us out on Patreon if you haven't already. There's some options for listening to our entire back catalog or hopefully enjoying an upcoming live stream.
Oh, yeah.
At patreon.com/totallylame, LAIME. Thank you to all of our patrons. Your support has been phenomenal and keeps us going. And follow us on Instagram at Nobody's Listening Right. And leave reviews. Keep the reviews coming. Chip it away at our deficit towards Eckhart Tolle. We're coming for you, Tolle.
Yes.
And thank you for everything. All right. Good night.
Good night. Shh.